Japan has changed for Indian films, and you've been coming, what, 5 years now? Do you feel more part of a global film movement now from India?
You know, honestly, I don't know if I'm the right person to ask. It's my first film, Savaria, was, I feel the world has gotten a lot smaller, especially with the influx of international companies that have come in, like Sony, Fox, Disney, and I've been actually part of all their first films. It's very strange. I did Sony Pictures' first film, Savaria, which is my first film. I've just done 2 of Fox's biggest films. And Fox International actually. I've also done Disney India's first film. So in a global perspective, yes, we connect everywhere. But at the same time, I don't think the idea of what actually Indian films are is actually coming across in the world. I was actually speaking to a journalist yesterday, and I was saying that there are big films which actually have great content, which actually are representation of what Indian films actually are, like the Munna Bhai or Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, or you know the films that I'm talking about? Yes. And they're Indian commercial films, but at the same time they have great content and they have great message and they're a reflection of what truly India is. And I would love for the international market and the international press to see those films and critique those films as opposed to the smaller niche films, which are also quite wonderful and beautiful, but well, they're smaller niche films.
Well, this is clearly a Kapoor family thing. I mean, your father, Anil, has a foot in both camps now. He's one day he's welcoming Tom Cruise, the next he's bringing 24 over and stuff. Is this stuff that as a family, you're very much Bollywood royalty, but you're clearly sort of looking beyond the bounds of India?
I don't know about that. I think India being the largest film industry in the world, I think we can make it along. I think it's quite. I think we can actually go there. It's just a matter of kind of. I think we need to make films which can be seen everywhere. It's not about crossing over. It's about making sure there are no boundaries, and making films that will be relevant to everywhere. Because right now, like I said, the world's become smaller with social media and with with everybody knowing everything that's like American television does really well in India. That's why 24 was such a huge success. Like I think most people in the metros watch a lot of American television. It's not because of the internet. So I think there's a lot of scope for boundaries actually going away and making films that truly represent India that can be seen everywhere. So it's not about me going somewhere and making a film and being an Indian actress there, but it's about making films that everybody can watch.
I was talking with some of my colleagues earlier about that. Everybody's Cannes is different. It's such a big event. There's so many different things going on at once. What's your Cannes like? Do you actually get to see any movies?
Well, the first couple of years I did see films. The first year I watched The Artist. I think I watched The Blues, The Warmest Color. And I got to see some wonderful films. Last year I watched The Foxcatcher. So whenever my gown allows it and there's no press after, I sometimes, like last year I wore the largest Ellie Saab gown and I sat down because I really wanted to watch Foxcatcher. I sat in that gown the whole time. It was as I wasn't sitting in the gown, I sat in a small chair and I watched it. So I try to watch the film, but sometimes I'm like, okay, I'll do the red carpet because I'm here for my brand, I'm here for L'Oreal. So I'm on their time. So my time is owned by them when I'm here. But
let's talk a little bit about that, because His Excellency, the Ambassador for France, Dr. Kumar, was saying there's that great link between France and India over food, but actually, of course, there's also a great link between France and India over fashion. And we've seen you wearing a variety of elegant. I can't honestly believe I'm sitting here talking about. If my wife could see me now talking about dresses, when I've ignored her for 30 years.
I can inspire that in people.
But seriously, that has become such an important aspect of the festival. It's always been about glamour and so on, but as you say, you're here with L'Oreal. That really is an ambassador's role, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think in a lot of ways I represent L'Oreal Paris India, the Indian team, and it's a global brand, but we have our own little areas. And I think it's important because I represent, like I said, the first year I wore a French designer, the second year I wore McQueen, which is very English, and actually yesterday I wore Ralph Russo, which is again very English. And
yes, he said insincerely.
Yeah, you had no idea.
I had no idea. Marks and Spencer's, what can I tell you?
Well, that's not so bad either. But honestly, you mean Marks and Spencer's?
No, I'm wearing a Gap jacket, I'm glad to say. Go on.
No, so honestly, and I wear Indian designers and I wear all sorts of things, but I feel, like I said, it's a world of so small. I don't think you can call it a French person or a British person or an American person or a Spanish person or a Spanish designer, etc., etc., or Japanese designer. I think everybody's like people get inspired by, like I remember Marquesa, which is an American designer. Again, do you know more?
No, not at all, but I'm
Okay.
nodding. Good, good. It's fine, I can edit the out, it'll be
Yeah,
fine.
so Marquesa did an Indian collection, or a lot of the embroideries that most international designers would get done in India. So there's a, like I said, something gets cut somewhere, some of the patterns are made somewhere else in some other country. Some of the embroidery is done in India, some of it's done in Beirut. So
And also, of course, for India, there's so much crossover with filming people like Manish Malhotra. Just to show you, I do know one or two things. Yeah, she's both costume designer and great fashion designer. You seem to live more comfortably in the worlds than we do.
In both the worlds? Because I think at the end of the day I'm an artist and fashion is art and I'm an actor and I honestly believe that most of the icons in acting were also fashion icons because they had an individual voice and whether it was Catherine Hepburn who wore the most gorgeous trousers and she wasn't afraid, or Diane Keaton who's you know Diane Keaton, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yes. He's like looking at me nodding. And, or Catherine Hepburn, or Audrey Hepburn, she was the one who kind of made Givenchy. So I feel in a lot of ways, they say that cinema imitates life. In a lot of ways, I think fashion defines an era. So if I look at, in a lot of ways, so a lot of the times fashion and will go hand in hand, and I think it's a great narrative. If you are good at one thing, you should be good at identifying other things as well. So
How do the practicalities work? Because I'm a journalist, so I go to 8:30 in the morning press screenings and I trip up those red carpet steps and I argue with the annoying French security guards because they won't let me take my coffee in. And I stagger and I get in and I slump in the dark. Your experience is somewhat different. I mean, if physically getting out of a
but
car,
I
getting
also
up,
wake up at 6 a.m.
I'm sure you do, and I'm sure you're leading a much more healthy lifestyle than I am. But is there a practicality in choosing costumes? Things that outfits, things that you're comfortable with, things that work for you?
I try to be as comfortable as possible, but you know something, as an actor I'm used to being not comfortable. I mean, I just did a commercial with Miss Jane Fonda and she's like, they were like, are you uncomfortable? She's like, that's my job. It's okay, we're shooting a commercial, it's fine. And my dad also said once, don't feel like it's hot, don't feel like you're sweating, don't feel like you're cold. Just be. And if you don't think about it, actually it doesn't get I don't think about it. I don't think that I'm hot, I don't think I'm cold, I don't think I'm uncomfortable, and I'm not.
You were talking about films you've seen in the past, Blue is the Warmest Colour. Have you seen anything yet? Managed to catch anything so far?
No, I've been, I arrived day before. I stopped filming the night before. I stopped filming at 2:30 in the morning and I took the 4:30 flight and then I worked all day. So by the end of the red carpet, I was ready to fall over. So I didn't watch the film and I couldn't sit in the gown. So I came back, but I wanted to catch some stuff. I heard that there's a wonderful documentary by an Indian descent.
Asif Kapadia,
Amy,
Amy Whitehouse.
and I've seen the Senna, right? I've seen that, and I was quite excited about wanting to watch that because I liked Amy Whitehouse. I liked her voice. Wasn't appreciative of her music. I really liked her voice, and I thought she had a great individualistic voice. Would have loved to see it.
Well, perhaps if we let you get away in enough time tonight, you might be able to sneak a film. Sonam, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.